Yo, guys, Vampire here back in the video, and today we're going to be hopping into another college football 26 defense. Today we're going to be sticking in our 2-4 load mug, and we're going to be going over a cover 2 defense for this. Cover 2 is a lot better this year, in my opinion, so we're going to be going over that. Looking to drop an ebook on this defense soon, so make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments if you guys want to see that. Also, check out the website. It has all my ebooks posted on there, as well as a monthly membership that gets you access to all content that is posted on the site. So make sure you guys check that out. But yeah, very good formation. We're in the 3-2-6 defensive playbook. And yeah, a lot of good plays in here that we can explore. We're going to be going over just the classic Tampa 2. I've already talked about the linebacker blitz 0 in the middle there and the cover 6 on the left there. But let's go into the Tampa 2. How do we exploit this as a blitz as well as a good coverage defense? So for now, we'll leave everything pretty much the same. Auto flip on is okay. Sometimes I do actually turn that off, because it does create kind of weird little flippings, and sometimes your linebackers will be out of position, but for now, it's okay. Zone drops, we may talk about those later, but I'm going to leave them at default for now. And let's try and find a good play here. So, this blitz is going to be pretty simple. You're going to kind of run it similarly to the other blitzes that we talked about. I did post a gameplay where I ran this defense, or the 2-4 load mug, in that bunch tight end video. So if you guys want to see the formation in action in a gameplay, I did run one in that video. But yeah, this Tampa 2 is different. So the first thing that I like to do is press. Just get those guys down at the line of scrimmage. Makes it a little bit more intimidating as a defense. So I always like to jam at the line of scrimmage, just to make it difficult to pass. And it's going to take them longer, hopefully, if you get some good presses, to get the ball off, because those routes will take longer to develop, hopefully allowing your blitz to come in. Now, the next thing that I like to do is show blitz, which is R1 and R1 again, or RB or RB again. And that's going to just go ahead and kind of shift the linebacker to the right, which I do kind of prefer a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is manually blitz that A linebacker, which is going to be double tap the D-pad to the right twice, press A down on the right stick. Now, I want you to notice the angle that he's at, because this angle does suck. Because if we leave him in this angle, the blitz doesn't work. It's going to get picked up. He's going to loop. Now we get quick pressure. It's probably more due to Alabama than the blitz coming through. And you see, take a look at this angle that he comes in at. It's going to be a little bit of a weird looping inside angle, which is not what we want, because this allows 55 to, of course, easily pick up our blitz. So how do we avoid that? We're going to just set up everything the same way. But the biggest difference is we are going to do something with the point of attack, and the way you get there is D-pad to the left, and then your right analog stick is going to control that. Now you can really move this a few different ways. You see how if you slant inside even, it's going to give him now that right blitzing angle where he's not looping to the left, he's actually just coming straight down. So you could slant inside, you could slant outside, you could slant to the left, even the right. I've tried it a few ways. I think slanting outside is probably your best bet, but honestly, all of them work. I slanted inside there. Now, it looks like he has the agile extender, so he may break a lot of these sacks, but of course, if they didn't have the ability, he would have got brought down. So let's show it again. Press, show blitz, manually blitz that linebacker, and really, you could just blitz all linebackers. It's going to save you a quick adjustment, and because you're going to be using this guy more than often, and we will talk about some of those backside adjustments, of course, later in this video, but yeah, let's slant outside now, which is going to be up on the right analog stick after pressing the D-pad to the left. And then let's just run it like this, and he's going to loop in pretty simply, get that pressure, and get the sack. So if you notice for whatever reason, maybe he's actually able to pick it up, that is when you can start like slanting in those different directions. I like slanting left. I think that's a pretty good one, because that usually guarantees that the loop gets free. So let's say we slant left. I slanted outside again on that previous one, but let's say we slant left. It's kind of more of a little bit more of a straight shoot. And the best thing with this angle is just if you can get the linebacker to come straight down, you don't want him to have to loop. It's going to take just even more time. So this is perfect, slanting to the left. To get him through, pretty simple. 55, blocking nobody, that's exactly what we want. And we're kind of able to get back here and use her a lot of this stuff. Not much is open, but we'll talk about the backside adjustments, because of course, that's going to be a big concern. Now, one thing we can do to take this blitz to a next level is we can actually put this XD end in an adjustment. So let's slant left, blitz all linebackers. Then what we can do is put this linebacker, or this player. I would get someone athletic here, nice quick outside linebacker that can be decent enough in coverage. we can throw him in a vert hook, which is going to help. He should help out with this little post route that Blake is on. That's going to allow us to kind of commit on the drag a little bit more, the angle route, and then our pressure should still come in. So pressure still comes in, and now it's a lot better. And I'm not focusing necessarily on usering, I'm more watching the blitz, but this is the best way to run it because it's only 4 people against 5, and if you notice when you slant to the left, number 98 gets a little bit of a slower start. It doesn't really matter. We still get that, and again, takes away his quick read of him over here, and then he would have had to throw the post like here, which it's not really open here. He would have had to like kind of guess, but I mean, not much else is open, and I'm not running the greatest offensive setup, but I mean, this play is decent enough as a stock setup. So that would be how I would do that. Now, how do we adjust out of that to get it a little bit better? I'll show the adjustments, then I'll start talking about situations where if the halfback is blocked, what would you do? So we set it up normally. Again, I would go with the vert hook over there. One adjustment that I like to do, and this is going to be good if he's going with like some corner route heavy type looks. Who knows what he's doing? Just going to try and put together some different setups, but let's say he's going with something like this. I would recommend actually going with a potential cover 3 cloud. And how do you get to a cover 3 cloud? It's going to look like this. What you could do is you could put B on an outside third. You could actually do an outside quarter. It's going to play a little bit more aggressive on the sideline. I actually do enjoy doing that more, but outside third is fine if you want the traditional cover 3 cloud look. And then I'm going to put A in a curl flat, and then what I can do is put L1, my strong safety, in an inside third, which is going to be the left stick to the left. So it's going to look like this. Now, of course, we got to use that right-hand side. And then sometimes when I would do this, I actually like putting a little hard flat. If I was playing bunch, I would probably go hard flat because I'm expecting any drags. I'm not really expecting any corner routes. It just depends on how he's playing defense or offense, of course. But like, oh, okay, we're going to lurk over there. We're going to defend here. I don't know. Maybe the blitz got picked up there, or he just got a weird angle. Let's take a look at what happened. Oh, so he gets bumped by the zig, and that actually allows it to get... Well, 52 still blocks nobody, so that's a good sign. Gotta love the blocking mechanics in this game. So we did get bumped. You know, that's out of your control if that happens. It's a little bit unfortunate, but I mean, coverage is pretty solid here. Again, the corner out, he may try and throw this, but that's why we have the quarter instead of the third, because if he throws that, it's getting jumped. And then the zig is going to be probably who he ends up throwing it to, but, you know, you're able to wrap up, make a tackle, and obviously, in a normal circumstance, your blitz is probably coming through early. The right thing to do with the user would be like kind of try and lurk on this to avoid it and then pass that off and try to hit the angle route. But by then he's getting sacked anyway. So in a normal circumstance, that's a good style of defense. And I'll try and go into some other formations here. Now let's try and come out in here. Okay, so you would slant right in this case, and then you would blitz A still. Now, he's in a weird position, so we can actually move him over to about here. I don't know why, he's kind of stuck. There we go, moved him over. So sometimes when you flip the play like this, it also gets a little bit weird. But again, I would honestly, what you could do here against like a trips look is I could just man him up on the running back if I want, or I could just leave him in the vert hook, depending on if he's spamming the tight end inside or who knows what he's doing. So let's just run it like this, and I'll actually audible after and kind of switch it. But he takes a little bit of a weirder kind of outside looping angle, but he still gets the pressure. And as long as he's getting through, obviously quicker is better, but sometimes the angle is weird. It still ends up being okay. Now, before we audible the trips completely, let's show it with the running back blocks. Because of course, if we just run our traditional looking setup, again, I slant to the left, which is the opposite side of the blitzing linebacker. We show blitz. And you shouldn't have to press if you actually show blitz, because the only thing that's going to change is the outside corners maybe being a little bit further outside. It's almost more of a traditional baseline look, but let's say they do block the running back. What's going to happen? He is just going to pick it up. Pretty simple. It's to be expected. A lot of times if you have a good enough linebacker, they can shed the running back's block, but that's pretty much expected. Now, how would you take care of that? There's a few different ways. I think one of my favorite ways would be to... Because he's still being a free rusher, which is good, I like to blitz the slot corner. So if I notice him doing that, I can still put X over here. Now I know with my user, I'm going to probably sprint over to the right, so I'm going to kind of start there. But this should work pretty well. And yeah, so overall, I mean, just pretty good, right? We get 2 people free. I don't know exactly what happened there, but okay, so the running back still picks up the linebacker. Looks like we get kind of a weird shed with our D end. Or yeah, we get a weird shed with our D end that's on number 54 because he actually picks up the corner and he tries to pick up the corner, but then the running back kind of blocks him. So regardless, you're getting 1 person free in most cases. I'll show it again. We get 2 people free there, which is even better, right? So we'll press, show blitz, slant left, blitz A, and then we will manually blitz this A slot corner. Again, I can still go with my vert hook over here, which is perfect. Even a kind of a crazier adjustment that you could do too is put him in a curl flat, and then you could actually man that player up. And then I could even, or what I could do is I could put him in a hard flat and like man the corner up on him, which just makes your life a little easier because now I could go like boom. And looks like we get 2 people free there. I think I forgot to block the running back, of course, but regardless, if you do blitz the slot corner, he's going to get through most of the time, and then the linebacker's still getting through. So overall, pretty broken. Let's show it against a different formation. Another thing I like about this defense is it's pretty good base run defense as well. So again, I'm just running it out of the Tampa 2 on the right-hand side, and would be great against like a spread look too, but let's go, let's try and create this because it's kind of a trips tight end look. So again, the positioning isn't ideal because that linebacker is kind of out of position. Like if I were to just blitz him from this side, and I would, again, slant right in this case instead of slant left. So let's say I do it like this. You would see that it would just take him so long to get there. So it's not particularly not going to work, but what's going to change is it's just going to take a long time with him out of position. So again, I would still show blitz. I would do that, but you're just going to want to move him right here if at all possible. Sometimes you'll move him and then he won't cooperate until after a few times, but the good thing is you're not doing a whole lot of backside adjustments particularly. Now, one thing you can actually do here is you can put your cover 3 clouds to the trip side, and the reason I would do that is maybe because of these heavy crossers and different things like that. Just give yourself a little bit more grace over here. And again, I could go outside quarter, so I could look like this, and then I have the vert hook or the hook curl on the left still. I put this D end in the curl flat, so it's important that both of them have good coverage stats because, again, if you're running this blitz heavy, you don't care necessarily about their pass rush stats because they're never really getting too many one-on-ones. So I would run it probably like this, lurk over here, go here, and then we get the pressure. So I think that's your best bet. Now, this guy does take the stupidest angle, number 0. I don't know why he loops around. Maybe I want to move him more inside. I mean, because if he's from sitting here, I mean, the angle should just come through. He still, like, wants to loop through. I'm not sure. Holy crap, how many sacks is this guy going to break? But we'll try some stuff out with this. Let's see, maybe if we move him just all the way inside, if we can. Can you sit still? It's like a toddler. He's not sitting still. I don't know why. Okay, whatever. Because if it's the case where he's just like stuck, maybe he's not. Maybe if we contain, I don't know what could make this better. So let's contain. I mean, it's a little bit more of a direct shot, so you can contain. I mean, that's also going to help with him maybe scrambling out right. So I would say if you're getting the loop to the outside, you notice it happening, containing is going to prevent that. It makes it just a little bit faster, but it sucks when he's a little spread out wide because you can't like move him in. Even if I pinch my linebackers, it doesn't make a difference. And that's where them taking baseline out of the game was pretty annoying. But let's say they do run the football. It's certainly a possibility. I didn't set up my things. And again, you could set these cloud flats to whatever you'd like. Zone drop wise as well. I usually play a little bit further underneath, but dealer's choice, right? Now, the cover 2 run defense may be a little worse than, of course, your cover 0. You kind of expect that. And again, if they block the running back, you would just blitz this L1 corner and it would work pretty well. So, but going back to my point, It's going to be better if you run the cover 4 run defense just because it's in the cover 0, but if they do run the ball, it's going to be kind of gap shoot dependent. You do want to try and get off the line as quick as possible, but you kind of want to do that for the pass defense anyway. Overall, it should be decent enough, and if you notice your run defense being bad, I would switch to the cover 0 or the cover 6, and you're going to get a little bit better, consistent run defense. But that's going to do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like, subscribe to the channel down below. Peace out.